Hello and welcome to this ladder game. I've increased the volume, or at least up the settings. I have no idea where this will improve the actual sound quality at all, but we shall find out. This is a learning process, and once I find a happy setting medium, we shall stick with it. Morax versus Black Death on the, well, I would call it a pretty classic 1v1 map, Twin Rivers. Both playing Cybran. What have we got? You have your side expansion, you have your rear expansion, and you have your island expansion. It's very easy to forget the reclaim on the map, and people will include it to build orders. You have the rocks here, you have the rock. Basically on every single white patch or mountain there's rocks. And to the point that, well, even up here you have a good 600 odd reclaim in each of these and people forget about them. You see that bases are quite nicely built, but there's an emphasis on either blocking the other person's expansion or there's also some emphasis on trying to deny the reclaim, because that's quite significant. Some build orders will use that fairly early on. It looks like that in classical Black Death style he is going to go straight for labs, and there's no reason not to. If you're doing this and you've got labs going straight through the middle, then you know there is nothing that's going to hurt your engineer, so he sends an engineer to go grab the middle mass. And it actually has a third lab going out. Oh boy, aggression all the way through. He does need power though, and to use this mass, and I question whether it's the wisest idea to have engineers building separately, but we'll see what happens. Morax meanwhile sees the lab, but isn't actually reacting to it properly. So this should have been here to block this entrance, rather than just sitting on here. Because now this engineer needs to run, because that's going to go in a direct line and kill it. You can see this lab is going to try and hit this engineer, and there's no reason not to. You'll see labs go down the middle, try and snag the engineer, go through, hit the one in the back, and you might see a lab go all the way around the side and hit its engineer. As the one which goes horizontally has a habit of getting the mexes, getting the reclaim, and then just going to build a distance build, a factory up on the ledge. And it looks like this engineer isn't long for the world, so all that's gone. I'm surprised the mexes haven't been taken yet. But this lab is still hanging around, being annoying. This got denied. Black Death still getting the middle mass. Now he has mass but no power. It's like, I don't know. ACU is moving out, even though he can build with it, which I don't think is the greatest move. Actually went second air, builds a bomber, just to keep applying the pressure. Morax seems to be really slow with his factories, only just got his air factory up. In fact, I think he built too much power, and not enough build capacity for... Yeah, he went for a lot of Mantis early on, but is applying no pressure with them. And instead of build power, just look at that mass bar, ooh, disgusting. And even though that, he still went for a bomber. Like Black Death is already on the way, spots the engineer. It should always be my instinct, if ever I see a scout overhead, is send my scouts for the forwards, and then you can A, see an engineer whether the bomber is coming, or B, just start running in circles anyway. Because it's a dead tail. Either the bomber arrives in 10 seconds, or it doesn't at all. Now he sees that it spotted the rear engineer. This should be running in circles. So, wow, that mass wastage. Disgusting. Not ideal. You'll also very commonly, or at least I know Ajax does it and I don't do it, is build anti-air turrets here to prevent drops coming in, or at least try and emphasize getting the side, so you don't have to on that side. And that bomber is uncontested. Morax has a bomber as well, but, well, just sent it straight through the middle, and it's late, so it achieves nothing, except donate some reclaim. Well, he's trying to use his mass by building a Tech 2 mechs. He just doesn't have the build capacity to actually set up in any way, shape or form a decent time. So what, we've got 3 land factories, an air factory. Black Death meanwhile has already got 5 land factories, 6th one coming up, is 2 factories on top of Morax. So Black Death can afford to apply the pressure. bit slow in grabbing his mexes, and he has power problems galore. It's the problem on this map. If you build power too early, you'll mass stall. If you don't build power soon enough, then you'll e-stall from not adjusting properly to the mass, that income you get. But he's in a decent position. He's got forward radar. He can apply, deny these two mexes. He can stream units across, probably block this off. He needs to build a factory or something. I don't agree with the PD, since he has enough units that he can defend, and he can build a factory is far more secure than the PD. In this situation, he hasn't got that either. No one's decided to edge build a factory, it looks like, which is a mistake. And Morax moving out with the commander. And I still think he probably has enough mass in the back. Yeah, there's still a full mass bar. Oh boy. This is what happens when you don't have build capacity. Mantis will only get you so far if you're not going to be aggressive with it, because you need to build more shit in order to build more shit. Raid gets through because lack of power means that he couldn't see what was coming in. These Mantis are going one at a time in a really poor formation, so this can all get denied if he's not paying attention. Charges in, has no idea what's in front of him. For all he knows, there's another army heading his way. This saw it. He might assume he tidied it up, but he has no idea what's here. This is when you want air scouts to just fly over your own territory, just to make sure there's nothing. This factory is completed. PD is going to go up in a really weird spot. No radar still. This mech still not taken. The reclaim on the back still not taken. Builds a radar and a PD over here. You can do, but I don't really see this being done very often. At the most, you see it further up here with walls, but back there it seems really tetchy. Distance build from Morax. Transport has finally been built. Is that a single engineer? Single engineer and 3 Mantis go up to the north. It's a oh wow, there's another one. Oh, APM dude. There's two transports. One to the north. Assumes that he'll meet some competition up here. He's really seen the factory being built, so that's great. And just sends engineers purely to the south. So he's also managed to get both side islands, but again, that mass bar makes me want to cry. Not teching. Eco God is not amused.
Commander under attack.
Morax finally has a grip on his power problem, and is now overbuilding power given his mass. And, well, is not in the greatest situation. Kinda got units in no man's land, where they're neither here nor there. They're neither they're walking into PDs, that's always a good usage of them. And this got through again. They can just zoom around the back. This is why people build walls here. You'll see some people who are super cautious build wall around the back too, just to stop units getting into it, and there's a drop. And there's no PD in the back, even though that could be spammed up really quickly. So all of this is now threatened. And Morax looks like he is in a terrible position. Lost both side islands, he's being run over on all sides, letting raids in. His front mexes aren't exactly secure either. Has he got any tech on the way? Doesn't look like it. 10 factories. 9 factories. But Black Death at the same time isn't really using his advantage for anything. He's not ecoing, he's not preparing a sniper of any kind, he's not teching. He's just content to push with Tech 1. Normally he's... oh, there we go. Black Death style is normally go Tech 2 on his command and start pushing with PD. And, well, he's managed to blow up the factory at the back, he's managed to kill this. Kill the engineer, so that's going to take a while to get back. And still no ecoing despite a full mass bar. Oh boy. Morax meanwhile has mass. He's able to get the reclaim. That's the only thing that's got working so far, is the fact that for all these raids, eventually he'll be able to rebuild it, and all the mass that's dumped will be his to take back. This is why I have to be careful when attacking, that you're actually going to deal damage. Because this attack, although it looked nice, in the end it killed a single mex. This attack seems pointless because there's way more for Black Death than Morax. His commander needs to be very careful. factories going down, and there is your Tech 2. First thing built is a TMD, never forget it. And we have support factories going up. Oh, it looks like only one for the moment. Morax also going for Tech 2. Has Black Death got any tech, or finally decides to invest in Tech 2 mechs, but hasn't got power? No Tech 2 land. Builds a Tech 2 pigeon at the front, which is a bit strange, but I guess he's happy to sit there. To be honest, he doesn't have to build Tech 2 mexes, because he has the size. He should be a parity anyway, but it's a bit odd not to if you know the game's going to go on. 64, 63, even amount of Mantis. Tech 2 power going up. And that was not the greatest formation for Morax. He's going to lose air control. And we have rhinos coming out. No flak planned. Pop lights. That is a very weird build. And you're going to play this defensive, and you already have this many moles. I don't think you need to waste your Tech 2 factory's time in building a mole. This TMD is protecting. Oh, it's trying to protect this land factory here. But no radars, so we can't actually see what's happening. Morax is just going to keep upgrading his commander, completely oblivious to what's coming towards him. If he was unlucky, this would just rain on him and kill him. Black Death begins his Tech 2 PD push and has finally utilised all of his mass, which is not the greatest sign, considering how he doesn't have any economy more than he did like 5 minutes ago, really. So, T2 max count is 2 versus 4. So, all things considered, Morax is not as behind as he should be. And we have Tech 1 AA coming out instead of Tech 2. Interesting. This attack again, I'm not sure what it's going to achieve, because there's Tech 2 in the field. At most it's going to kill another mechs. And this is just a mass donation, as far as I'm concerned. It'll achieve nothing. And at some point in time, you just have to accept that you're not going to get any more significant headway with an attack. It's like, if you take the mexes and run away, then fair enough. But if you just keep doing this, or just push into a higher tech force, you're just going to end up feeding. And that's exactly what's happened down here. You have enough Tech 2 units to clean everything up, and now that's left another 2,000 reclaim. But maybe at least 1,000. I don't think Morax is actually on the case in reclaiming this. You can see it, but he hasn't cleaned it up. Single mantis get to the back for whatever reason. There's some mantis here anyway. This is why you build AA turrets on the sides to stop this nonsense from happening. That is a very odd place for a PD, but it's got 10 kills, so I guess it was mass efficient. This is quite a defensive line, and Morax is walking into it. You can just attack it with Medusas, or even with MMLs, but that is just stopping a point and click. Finally we have more economy, but why are you surrounding these? These are not even Tech 2 yet, what the fuck? Black Death is happy to build a defensive position, which isn't actually doing anything. The whole point of having a Tech 2 push is you push into somewhere where your opponent doesn't want to lose. And if they attack, they're damned, and if they don't, they're damned. But this is just fortifying nothing. Happy with pop lights. They're not the worst idea. I mean, if you have this many PD, you stop rhinos and mantis from running at you, you can retreat behind it, but it assumes you have the APM and micro for it. Which not many people have. More teching. And what is Morax's plan? Tech 3? Tech 3. He's going to attempt the jump to Tech 3. He's got the reclaim field here to fuel it and finance it. And Morax, having had enough, is just going to build Tech 2 PD here. As there's no walls, you can reclaim all of this. That's worth another few thousand. No walls for the PD. Lonely, lonely, lonely. TML goes up. Not sure what that's going to target. Actually, it could kill this P-Gen. I don't think the TMD will be able to hit the missile twice before it impacts on the P-Gen, but we have continued fortification attempts from Black Death, again threatening nothing. He could claim these two very easily, get the reclaim, which he's very slowly getting, but this is now getting a bit dangerous where, well, actually he has a Tech 2 radar, he knows exactly what's here, so that's a good radar, but all his forces on this side, he knows there's nothing on this side, which makes me question, why isn't he trying to push further ahead if he can get away with it? If he keeps all his units here and he pushes behind it, he can try and put pressure with Tick 2 PDs, or even build a fucking Gunther turret. You can build Gunthers and then happily black the P-Gen, black the HQ, force your opponent to come to you, but now the MML's coming into play. And, well, unless he spams up TMD, which is just a waste to defend this position, he doesn't really have much of an answer. Eco, trying to get air control, but it just looks like defensive air control to stop a snipe. Lack of eco disgusting. Still building Tech 1, even though it has Tech 2, so completely inefficient army usage. Now sending hoplites into melee range, I have no idea why. And these rhinos are happily going to chew this up, to the point that now Bladder has no army. No army whatsoever. 60 Mantis against 31 rhinos. That is disturbing. But on Morax's half, he has a criminal lack of Medusa. Oh boy. So all of this will be stopped by PDs because rhinos suck in general. But against PDs, it's just worth. And this is building Mantis for God knows what reason. I guess it'll stop the drops if they come to the back, maybe. Yeah, finally built some AA turrets, but probably in the wrong place. MML's coming out, and at this point, Black Death needs to have a plan, and I don't sure if Black Death has a plan besides I will try and keep pressuring with T2PD versus a vastly superior Tech 2 army. Morax seems to have had enough of this and is walking straight in. And Black Death may have realised and wants to run away. Nope, he is running into them with no overcharge. What the fuck? He could die here if he's focused down. And I think he might be. Then he just got OC. And Morax decides to back off. As a secondary position, but that's not exactly the strongest. More Tech 1 PDs have dealt with this. Tried to send a raid the other way because the main force was heading right to hit his commander, and Black Death just looks like he wants to stay here and rebuild.
Commander under attack.
Oh boy. Has both the flanks and just isn't doing much with it. This, again, is just pointless attacks of pushing in, maybe kill a mech or two, and then dump 1,000 reclaim in return. Yeah, Morax 8,000 reclaim ahead. You could build 2 Tech 3 mechs with that reclaim. And has a whole pile of MMLs, which are chasing units, not the greatest idea. These units can finally have a purpose of running into this attack to stop it. Not. I don't know what Morax is doing. It's like we have a bunch of units here that can do something, finally just realise he has them, to finally deal with this if he wants to. MMLs go back to the front, but are walking into range of Tech 2 PD, which is never a good sign. He's finally reached Tech 3, so he's going to get trebuchets out. And the question is, does Black Death realise this? Well, he should see it if he's paying attention. If not, the shells to rain later should tell him, but he should not be here. Still trying to build T2PD despite the fact that there's this many MMLs arrayed against him. He doesn't seem to adapt very well to changes in circumstance. 23 minutes in, still building Tech 1 units.
Commander under attack.
Air Factory looking idle. He has enough here for a T3 mechs or two. Oh boy. Not ideal.
Commander under attack.
This trebuchet is in melee range. That is sad to see. Oh wait, he took out the Tech 2 radar just to snipe it. Alright, I suppose you would argue that's worth it. But now slowly, this is going to get eroded. And he's still... And now he's decided to build Gunthers to attempt to counter the MMLs, but it's way too late. Way too late. Hasn't noticed that's not building. Isn't going to Tech 3, he's just fielding hoplites. Happy to sit here and not adapt at all.
Commander under attack.
And, well, although it looked dicey for Morax at the beginning, it just looks like that he's actually the one who's just changing his tech and doing something. He's absorbed the attacks, absorbed the reclaim, gone to a higher tech level, and is going to be in the ascendancy. And Black Death didn't have a plan. Looks like wonderful place to park interceptors and a good flying area over flak. And it looks like they're going to try and look for a breach. But there's not much here. This is purely Tech 1 mexes, which no one cares about. All the vital things are in the back or in the base. And Loyalists will happily clean this up without much difficulty. And even Flawless Die, that's still mass that goes to Morax, so this is a classic example of just over-aggression for no purpose. And Black Death is just trying to dig in again. He's wasted so much mass with these fucking useless turrets. Like 500 each, you've got at least 10 of them, 20, approaching 20. And, well, the magic thing about defense is they don't move, so if you want to, you can go at them straight on, or you can just waltz past them. This will not stop a force of massed amount of Loyalists. And now he has power problems. Only just starting to get to Tech 3, and now it's like, His eco might be better, he has that going for him, but he's not doing anything with it. He's not spending it fast enough, and he's still shitting out useless Tech 1 units. This is probably building Tech 2 engineers and attempt to get the Tech 3 faster. If anything, he should be falling back and reinforcing this position. But this is not enough to hold against this. Also, building these in a line. Yep, that's asking that Trebuchet has Gunthers in front of the Tech 2 turrets. What the fuck? Oh, team actually hit something. Morax is actually power locked, but he didn't have an alternative. And looks like we have a desperate push coming in. Wonder if this will be enough. Will Black Death OC anything? He will not OC anything and will just die. No shield, no PD, dead. What happened up here? I guess a Rhino or two got dropped, but had the better build order, had the better aggression, had the sides, and pretty much just derped. Got obsessed with building a fire base. It's like he's not even the UEF, which did nothing. Didn't use the advantage in any way, shape or form. Morax just held on, absorbed the attacks, absorbed the reclaim, and, well, went for it. Oh well. The more you know. Until next time.